Hello, this is HQ. What are the democratic values? The democratic values are about protecting democracy, making the economy work for regular, ordinary people, ensuring equal justice under the law, and using government as a tool to improve everyday life, not just serve the powerful. It's the belief that freedom, fairness, and opportunity should belong to everyone, not just those at the top. This is HQ, and we're going to talk about this debate with Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett. But I just wanted to come clean with the Democratic platform, our Democratic platform. You heard the beginning, you've seen the moniker Democratic debate between two progressives, and they are two progressives, right? And they're two progressives coming from two different directions. And this is not a personality critique or anything like that. It's just an analysis of what kind of a Democrat meets our political moment, right? And what voters feel disconnected from which one. And I believe it's the establishment Democrat that we're having a problem with, because they're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Because if you're a progressive Democrat, you believe in progressing and putting the party pulling the party forward. And our divide is the two in a Democratic primary or debate or whatever. The central divide between two Democrats is that we have two different models of Democratic leadership. They are not the same, and pretending that we are the same is part of the problem. And Jasmine and Tallarico are two different types of progressives, right? And I don't know how they do the factions in Republican Party, but we have two different types of progressives. And Crockett, Jasmine Crockett, represents what can best be described as the institutional or establishment Democrat. I mean, she's sharp, capable, effective inside of the system. Her strength is her counter punching Republicans, defending Democratic norms, and working within the procedural boundaries. I get that, but her political posture is mostly to be reactive, and she responds to Republican attacks rather than leading with a people first agenda. That means the public often hears why Republicans are wrong, why Democrats are better stewards of the institutions, but not enough about how we can improve wages, we can improve health care, how college can be affordable and free, and how seniors can be protected. This is not about bad versus good, bad intent. It's about strategic emphasis. They emphasize two different things, Tallarico and Jasmine. Voters don't just want competence, and Jasmine is very competent. They want advocacy too, that feels personal and urgent, and we get that. So James Tallarico, on the other hand, he is a people first progressive. Okay, he's a people first progressive, and Jasmine is the establishment defender. Two totally different progressives. Okay, so Tallarico represents a different traditional Democrat, the moral, people-centered progressive. So his politics begin with the human element of Democrats, not the party alignment like Jasmine. He talks plainly about a living wage, free college, universal free lunch program, protecting seniors. He is more of my type of Democrat. He is my type of Democrat. A livable wage, free college, universal school, free lunch for all kids, and protecting seniors and single payer health care. He's my type of Democrat, Tallarico. He explains why Democratic priorities exist, not just that Republicans oppose those things. Okay, that's the difference, and that difference matters between him and Jasmine, because voters aren't asking who won the argument; they're asking who's fighting for my life to be better. And this is I vote based on, and I told people this, I vote based on who aligns with the things that I want. If I had the choice between Tallarico and Jasmine, I would vote for Tallarico. That would be my vote, because he stands for the things that I believe in. She does too. She believes in the same things that I do. It's just that he's going to fight more for the free lunch, free college, free healthcare, single payer healthcare that I want, and fighting for seniors. He's going to fight more for those than anything else. And so therefore he's my type of Democrat. Okay. He's my type of Democrat that will fight for what I want. Okay. So we say the Republican contrast, the contrast between Republicans and Democrats, and why Democrats, we have to say it. So the Republicans no longer offer a serious agenda for everyday Americans. They just don't. Okay. Their platform is dominated by, and I've already told you all this, tax cuts for the rich, tariffs that raise consumer pricing, and cultural grievance politics. Because every person that you speak to that's a Republican, the first thing they want to know is, do you know what a woman is? Are you concerned about people in men and women in sports? They don't have an agenda. You have no agenda. You have no focus. You have no anything. I believe in free lunch, free healthcare, are making our seniors have dignity, and single payer, all of those things. But you cannot get a Republican to say 5 of the same similar things that I said. So you have no agenda. You only believe in, so that your Republican Party only believes in tax cuts, tariffs, and cultural grievances. And we are beyond that in this country. We have to be beyond that. We have to think more about it. There is no coherent plan with the Republican Party. Okay. They have no coherent plan about raising wages. That's another thing that Rico believes in, raising wages, minimum wage. They have no coherent plan about health care, giving us back the money and expecting us to afford $1,000 a month on our own. That's not a health care plan. They have no education plan, because they're trying to get rid of the education plan, and they have no plan to help the elderly. So the Republicans have no plan whatsoever. So and when you defend corruption and abuses of power and behavior they once claimed was disqualifying, Republicans no longer hold the moral high ground at all. And you can see the hypocrisy right now with the shooting of the gentleman in Minnesota. You can see the hypocrisy. Some of them are saying he shouldn't have had a gun. Some of them are saying, wait a minute, he got Second Amendment right. He can hold a gun. See, they don't. You Republican, you stand for nothing. You don't stand on your principles. You don't stand for anything. That's why I cannot be over there on your side of the aisle, because you only care about people who go in the bathroom, and you only care about if she's a woman or not. You don't care about the world issues that are plaguing this country. Right. So Democrats should stop acting like it's a close call. There is no close call between the Democrats and the Republicans. There's no comparison. Okay. So Tallarico makes this very plain. If you don't care about your fellow man, you don't care about having single payer, you don't care about your elderly, your vets, you're homeless, you don't care about those things, then you're definitely not a Democrat. So stay on the other aisle and have your tax cuts and your tariffs. Hopefully that keeps you warm at night. So Tallarico says it very plainly, and Crockett does not. She doesn't say that plainly. I always say it plainly. I care about veterans, homeless, free lunch, free college, single payer. I spout it off when people ask me, what do I care about? These are the only people Democrats like Tallarico are the only people that care about these things that I care about. So therefore, I would never vote for any other person that would not concern themselves about this. Okay. But the honest conclusion about it is it's becoming increasingly difficult to inspire voters with establishment Democrats alone. So we got to do something different. I'm not saying that Crockett cannot fight for people. It means that the party cannot survive on institutional defense without some kind of moral urgency. If Democrats want trust and turnout and credibility back, we need to have fewer fights like Jasmine have, but we have to have more people first fighting. Okay, more Tallaricos who are going to work for the people, who are going to fight for the people, the common man. That is basically our platform as Democrats. We fight for the regular middle class, everyday American men and women. Okay, we don't fight for the rich like the Republicans. The Republicans fight for the rich. They fight for tax cuts. They fight for tariffs, and they always try to tear down whatever the Democrat has done. There's a reason why our country has thrived under a Democratic rule, and it has stagnated under the Republican rule. There's a reason why that has happened. You can go back and look at our country in the last 100 years or 50 years or however long you want to go back, and you will find that our country thrived under Democratic rules as opposed to Republican rule. Like I said, 79 million jobs created under 77 million jobs created under Democrat, 29 million created under Republican. It is what it is. So we had this debate between these two people. And it's not, this isn't about the personality. It's about what kind of Democrat is going to meet the moment. Our Democrats are going to meet two different Democrats, the establishment versus people first. So we have to stop playing defense instead of fighting for the working people. We want to start fighting for the working people. You all please hit that like, share, and subscribe button, please, and thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so we have to start working for the regular, normal, everyday, average people. And this is the difference between Tallarico and Jasmine. So we have the Democratic values versus the Republican values. We have different criteria. We just do. Okay, we just do. These two came together. Jasmine is making the calculation that she wants people to take it to the Republicans and not co-sign the bullshit. By the way, I meant to say this in my earlier shows. The only way we get out of the situation in Minnesota, we get out of the situation with being laughing stocks of the world. The only way we get out of those situations is if Republicans act. If the Republicans act, they understand that their president is a clown. They understand that. They know that behind the scenes. They know he's a clown. They talks amongst themselves, so they know that. The only way for us to get out of this situation is if the Republicans act, and the Republicans won't act, and that's the problem. This is where we are, and in midterms. We just have to wait to the midterms in order to change some of that what's going on. But they don't want to change. They don't want to lose power. That is the problem with the Republicans. They don't want to govern. They never have. They only want the power. They only want the prestige of being the party in power. But they don't actually want to govern, because I haven't heard of one thing they've done beyond the big, beautiful bill, tariffs, and trying to repeal ACA, trying to get rid of Medicaid. We haven't heard anything else. The whole year, that's all we've heard is, Let's get the tariffs on par. Let's get the big beautiful bill on par that gives tax cuts to the rich, and let's not give these people Medicaid, Medicare, and ACA. That's all we've heard, because that's the only platform that the Republicans have. They have nothing else besides that. Nothing. So the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans, Democratic values versus the Republican values. Plain English. Democratic Party. Let's see. The Democratic Party, we believe elections are legitimate. Losers accept the results. Courts and constitutions matter, and peaceful transition of power is non-negotiable. Those four things when it comes to election. Those four things. Elections are legitimate. Losers accept results. Courts and the Constitution matter, and peaceful transfer of power. The Republican Party, on the other hand, elections are accepted only if they win. Only if they win. If they win, they accept them. If somebody else wins, we got a problem. Increasing willingness to question or overturn results. This is a part of the Republican staple. Selective respect for courts. Yeah, if it's a left-leaning court, we don't respect it. If it's a right-leaning court, we respect it, instead of respecting the rule of law, courts and constitution. And loyalty to party. Their loyalty is to party or leader. It's never loyalty to the American people. Republicans are never loyal to the American people. It's always to the leader or the party. Because right now, every Republican who is not on board with what's happening should be pressuring their Republican senator and congressman to stop what's happening in Minnesota. And none of them are doing that. Maybe they are a little bit, but they're not doing it. We as Democrats don't have a voice because we're the minority party. Any of this would never happen under Kamala. None of this would have happened under Kamala. Okay? None of this. We have many dead individuals. We have 36 dead individuals under ICE in a 13-month period under Donald Trump. 36. We have had 56 people dead under ICE under Obama's term. That's over the whole course of 8 years of Obama being president. 56 people died under Obama's watch, under ICE custody. We have 36 under Donald Trump, and it's his first year. That ought to give you an idea of who's doing what wrong. And the Republicans are okay standing by that. We as Democrats are not okay standing by such things. Okay? So, under the Republican Party, elections are accepted only if you win. Selective respect for courts and loyalty to party and person. Never loyalty to the American people. That's it. You have no loyalty to the American people, because you would stop what's happening in Minnesota regardless of how you felt about it or not. You'd be calling your Republican senators and your Republican House members to put pressure on the president and tell him to stop it. Number 2 is the rule of law. The rule of law. Democrats believe no one is above the law. And presidents, corporations, and officials should be held accountable. And due process applies to everyone. I had a discussion with somebody about due process last night. I'm having a discussion. You all need to read the Constitution. The Constitution says every person is afforded due process. Every person, not every citizen, every person. So if every person is due process, that means illegal aliens too get a form of due process. You don't get to just kick them out, grab them off the street, throw them in detention facilities without seeing a judge, without having some kind of a legal process, and then kicking them out of the country. That's not how that works. That's not how our Constitution works. Everyone has due process. Okay? And for some reason, the Republicans seem to feel as though they can skip over that part because these people are illegal. It's not how that works. It's never going to be how it works. The Supreme Court ruled in Abrego Garcia, his case, the Trump administration illegally transported Garcia over to a foreign prison without due process. And Supreme Court told the Trump administration to bring him back because you did not give him due process. So the Supreme Court said every person that sets foot on American soil has due process. And so therefore, that's how that works. Everyone is afforded due process. So, and then according to Republicans, it's a choice whether you give an illegal alien due process or not. That's not how that works, ever. It's not how that works. Law and order rhetoric, but it's selective enforcement. They have law and order rhetoric, but they selectively enforce what they want to believe and go by. They'll excuse criminal behavior if it benefits their side. Of course they will. Republicans, we have plenty of evidence that you will dismiss criminal behavior. You specifically dismiss this president's criminal behavior because it benefits your side in some particular way. It's never about the rule of law. You never care about, the Republicans never care about the average everyday American. As long as it benefits their side, they care about it. If it doesn't, they don't. Due process applies to everyone. Of course it does. Attacks investigations as political when they involve the people they know. Everything's an attack on a Republican. You attack Catholics. You're attacking our morals. You're attacking. Democrats don't care about your morals or anything else. You stay in your lane and the Democrats will stay in their lane. But you cannot attack investigations because you don't like the results. I probably got goofies in my chat right now attacking me, saying I'm lying. I haven't even seen the chat. I haven't clicked over to see the chat because I don't care what you think. I know what I'm saying. I know how it runs. I know how the Republicans run. The Republicans in Congress care about three things: tax cuts, tariffs, and tearing down any kind of safety net. Anything that Tallarico and I care about: free college, free school lunch, single parent health care, taking care of our vets, taking care of our elderly. Anything to help those people, anything to help the poor, the elderly, and the vets, the Republicans are against. Okay? I'm saying Tallarico and I believe in free health care for every American, single payer preferably, free college for every American, free school lunch for every kid, helping our veterans have dignity and places to live, having our seniors have dignity and places to live, raising the minimum wage. Those are things that Tallarico and I care about. I don't know what you care about, but those are the things that we care about. Republicans don't care about those things. Otherwise, you wouldn't be a Republican. You'd be on Tallarico and my side. Well, we care about our fellow human beings first, before a party. Before a party, we care about fellow human beings first. So, why does all of these things matter? A system where rules apply only to some isn't rules of law. It's a hierarchy. You can't claim to be law and order party. You can't claim to be the law and order party while defending people who break the law, by your own leaders who break the law, by your president who breaks the law, by your president who invades the Constitution. You cannot say you're the law and order party when you allow the things that the president has done that are illegal to continue to happen. So we don't believe you. You're hypocrites and liars. Okay. Number two, the economy. The economy. The Democrats focus on workers and consumers. Minimum wage increased. Unions and labor protections, progressive taxes. That's another thing we believe in, progressive taxes. Whatever you make, we tax it. Everybody taxed at a certain rate, depending on what you make. Like if you make under 20,000, you get taxed at 5%. If you make between 20 and 40, you get taxed at 10%. You make between 60 and 40, you taxed at 15%. Like that, progressive in any way, shape, or form. We believe in progressive taxes, where the wealthy pays their fair share. Republicans, on the other hand, focus on corporations and investing, which does nothing for the common everyday man, because a lot of us don't have money to invest in those kind of things. We have money to invest in our homes, our houses, and that's it. Tax cuts for the wealthy. You absolutely believe in giving wealthy people tax cuts because it's the first thing on the Republican agenda. The minute they walk into office, they only care about the rich, giving the rich tax cuts. We have already debunked this trickle-down garbage. There's no such thing as trickle-down economics. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay? It doesn't work. So we already know it doesn't work. As I stated before, 9 of the 10 economies under a Republican or a Democrat, a Democrat has done better than the Republican. The last 10 economies have been worked by the Democrat, and they have prospered the country better than any Republican. It's a fact. You don't have to believe me. It's a fact. You just have to look it up. Okay? It's something you just have to look up. Okay? It's not something that, I carry around the solid numbers or anything like that. I don't need to carry around the solid numbers. I'm already standing on the right side. So I understand what they are. It's for other people to look up the facts. Okay? Our economy has run better under a Democrat as opposed to a Republican 9 out of 10 times. So, what is that? Number 3. Republicans focus on corporations and investing, tax cuts for the wealthy, deregulation, trickle-down economics. Those things don't work. Our economy gets worse. I don't know how someone can look at our economy today and say, this is amazing. We're doing absolutely wonderful. I don't know how anybody can sit there and look at that and say that we're doing amazing under this president, that we're doing amazing in this economy. I don't know how anybody can sit there and say that. Okay. And we don't, and I'm not saying I'm not saying everything is amazing, everything is the way it's supposed to be, and I'm not saying it's horrifying. I'm saying you have to look at what's happening right now under a Republican rule. You have to look at it, and you have to admit that we are in precarious times with this president. Okay. Democrats want the economy to work for people. The Republicans want people to adjust to any economy. They want the government to do what they do, and then we got to accept it. That's what Republicans think. Us Democrats think you ask us what we want, and then you try to perform that service for the people. Democrats always ask, is the average person better off? And the Republicans ask, are businesses free to maximize profit? The Republicans don't concern themselves about the everyday, ordinary Americans. They never do. They never have. Okay? And that's the fundamental difference between Democrats and Republicans. They just don't. So, with healthcare Healthcare is a basic right, according to Democrats. It's a basic right. Government helps guaranteed access. We lower drug prices. Universal single payer healthcare is the goal. Single payer is the goal. Republicans believe healthcare is a personal responsibility. That's the difference. You can look at it. You can look at it in your head. Ask yourself, am I a Republican or a Democrat? If you believe that healthcare, you need to worry about your own healthcare instead of saying everybody needs healthcare. If you're one of those people that says you need to pay for your own healthcare and I'm not trying to pay nobody else's, then you're a Republican. Because a Republican is wants somebody to take responsibility instead of helping all their fellow men. They only concern themselves about helping themselves. They believe in market-based access only, repeated attempts to repeal coverage, little replacement planning. They have no plan. They have no plan for the American people. They have no medical plan for the American people. Okay? So everybody gets sick. Everybody gets sick. Not everyone can afford to be sick. I can't afford to be sick. But everybody gets sick. So everybody needs health care. So health care should be fundamental for everyone. It should be a basic thing because we all get sick. Democrats ask how to get everybody covered with health care. Let's make sure everybody's covered. Republicans ask who deserves coverage. Who deserves to have coverage? That's one of the main sticking points between me and Republicans. Your callous, very crass moral degeneracy is on display when you say something like, who deserves to have, makes me a better human than you. Off the bat. I'm not even going to argue that. That makes me a better human being than you. Right off the bat. When you ask that question, only you deserve healthcare. Only they deserve healthcare because they got money, so they deserve to have healthcare. Yeah, that means you're a shitty human being. Right off the rip, that makes you a shitty human being. Okay, and that means I'm a better human than you, better Catholic than you, right off the bat. Okay, I can't help that. You are what you are. So. That's healthcare. Social safety nets. Democrats believe in safety net protection brings stability. Help during unemployment, illness, aging. School lunches, housing assistance, disability support. And the Republicans view safety nets as dependency, handouts, free handouts, emphasis on cutting the programs. Moral framing around deserving versus undeserving. And that's another difference. It's a deserving thing. You all believe somebody deserves. You deserve not to have it. You deserve not to have health care because you can't afford it. You don't deserve it then. We see it as preventative. You all see it as a problem. And Democrats see the safety net as something you might need someday. Republicans see it as something other people abuse because you will see that you will have that conversation in the comments. No, we don't need to give them free health care. They're gonna abuse and use it. They just gonna take our money. They're gonna just use our money. They want free shit. It's always about free shit. Instead of helping your fellow American, it's about free shit. Even though you already pay for other people insurance through the insurance that you get at your job, you already pay for other people's insurance. You just don't want to know that you're paying for other people's insurance. I got it. I got all of that. I understand all of that. Okay. I understand all of that. And that's our fundamental difference between Democrats and Republicans. Education. We believe in public education investment, free meals for kids, affordable free college, student debt relief. Republicans believe in privatizing vouchers, cuts to public education, culture war focus, and opposition to debt relief. The extreme opposite of what we believe in. The extreme opposite. I fundamentally believe in public education, free meals for kids, affordable college for everybody, and student debt relief. We shouldn't even have student debt. We shouldn't even have it for college. College should be free in somewhat. If you want to specialize and do something else, then you need to go to college. You need to pay for that. But regular basic college education, it shouldn't cost anybody that much money. Education determines long-term economic mobility. This is what we believe. Democrats invest in kids early. Republicans focus on controlling what schools teach what. Personal freedom. Democrats. Bodily autonomy, reproductive freedom, marriage equality, LGBT protections, and privacy rights. Republicans believe in governmental involvement in personal decisions. They believe in government involvement in personal decisions. They believe in abortion bans. They believe in restrictions on LGBT rights. They believe in expanding surveillance powers. So Republicans claim to be the party of freedom, but support heavy government control in your personal life. Make it make sense. You believe in the government controlling people's personal life. We just want two genders. We don't want no trans in the bathroom. We don't want you having an abortion. It ain't your body. All of this, but we ain't. We don't want them to. We want limited government. We don't want no government in our business. We don't want them doing unless it's your personal bedroom. Then you believe in government intervening in people's lives. Then you believe that. But you don't believe in people or the government being in your business unless it's your personal life, unless it's your sex life. Oh no, they don't need to be involved in none of that unless it's your sex life. I get it. Freedom doesn't mean less government only when it comes to taxes. It means less government in your private life too. You're hypocrites. The Republicans are hypocrites. And we are in this precarious position because of cowardly Republicans. Okay? Our country has come to this harm, to this stopgap, to this crack in the road because of Republicans. Specifically, Republicans. They are the ones that are in control of the government. Okay? They are the ones that are in control of the government. So therefore, anything that is occurring across this country is because the Republicans want this cruelty. The Republicans want you to kill white girls and white boys, and they want to control it. They want to control what you think, see, and hear. This is the agenda of this presidency because they lie to give you an agenda. Everybody seen that video of that man getting shot. Everybody has seen that video. And yet and still, this administration has come out with the bullshit narrative again. When this is so obvious, what happened to this guy. When this was so obvious, what happened to this man. This man was minding his business, directing traffic. This man was minding his business, directing traffic, recording the recorders. He was recording the recorders. He was recording the people who were recording. He was making sure he didn't want to be right up on the action. He wanted to be back recording the recorders. And this is the fundamental difference between the hypocrisy between the right and the left. Y'all always show your hypocrisy. You always lie. Republicans always lie when the position is not what they believe or they want. We hear time after time after time after time, we have the Second Amendment right to carry our gun. And then you got this dumbass, this jackass up here talking about he shouldn't have been there with a loaded gun and resisting arrest. This is the fundamental difference between Democrats and Republicans. This hypocrisy right here. You change with the wing. Yeah, you're the lunatic. You're the lunatic because you're the one who said it. You're the lunatic because you're the one who said it. You're the one displaying the hypocrisy. That's wild. That's wild. I'm the left. I'm the wing nut. I'm the wing nut. And you're the idiot who's running around always talking about Second Amendment rights. But now that somebody's having their Second Amendment rights and they're showing and they're carrying a gun, you goofies are talking about he shouldn't have had no gun. No, you don't, you're an ant. Stop it. So the government's role for Democrats. Government is a tool to solve problems, infrastructure, disaster relief, and public health. Governing is a responsibility. This is the way us Democrats think. It's a responsibility. Okay. The Republicans is portrayed as the enemy. Government is portrayed as the enemy, according to Republicans. They will sabotage government to prove it doesn't work and prefer chaos over compromise. This is a perfect example of what is going on right now. But this is another perfect example of the hypocrisy of the right. Okay. Now the government can't do no wrong. The government is absolutely right. The government killing people just like that. It's absolutely right. Yeah, kill them all. They shouldn't be out there. They shouldn't be out there protesting, even though protesting is a fundamental American right in the Constitution. The number one amendment in the Constitution. Our founding fathers thought it was so goddamn important. It was number one. The number one amendment in the Constitution. The fundamental right to protest. That's wild that we have people out here trying to tell us that you shouldn't be outside protesting. That is wild when it's the first thing in the Constitution. First Amendment of the Constitution. So Democrats believe governing is a necessity. It should be governed. And Republicans believe governing is a tool that they use to control the masses. You see how quick people came out and said the goofy shit about this man. This man's life is probably as pristine as you can get it. In the prime of his life, no less. The prime of his life, no less. And he's filming the protesters. He's not a part of the protesting. He's filming the protesters. He's helping the ladies come across the street because there's ice on the ground. He's trying to help them get across the street. And then the police, because he's helping the women, the police grab him. And within 2 minutes, his life is ended. There's a special place in hell for people who think that's okay. And most of it falls on the Republican side. You trash. There's no way around that. A man went to film what was happening, not to be involved, to film what was happening. And they ended his life. You trash. If you believe that's what should have happened, then you're trash. And I'm damn sure a better person than you are. So, Democrats try to make government work. Republicans try to prove that it can't work. It's always the argument. Always the argument. Corporate power. Democrats believe in regulation to protect the workers and the consumers, antitrust enforcement, and environmental protections. Republicans believe in deregulation all the way across the board, corporate self-policing, and weak enforcement. No, let the corporation do whatever they want to. They can fuck over the Americans. They can fuck over the Americans all day long if they want to. We don't care. That's what they say. They doing what they want. The company, they send money down to the poor people. They give the poor people money. They make money. We give them tax breaks and they send it down to the poor people. That never happens. That never happens. They don't give a damn about the Republicans. Don't give a damn about the military or our veterans. He was a veteran. Shit on you. Shit on you for even looking somebody in the eyeball talking about that man deserves it. Shit on you if you're one of the you're not the constitutionalist that you say you are. Shit on you if you looked at that video and said that man deserved to lose his life. Shit on all of you. Okay. Let's hope they rate. Let's hope they rate it. Let's hope they rate it, Goofy. Goofy. You know you can go to another debate. You do know that, right? Goofy. Nobody told you to come over here, right? Goofy. So people have lived through corporate abuse, banks, opiates, pollution, everything. We've already lived through all of this. Democrats think corporations need rules. Of course they need rules. They can't run roughshod over everybody. Republicans think corporations should write the rules. That's not how that works. In moral framework, Democrats collectively believe in responsibility. Empathy is policy and harm reduction. Outcomes matter. Okay. And Republicans believe individualism above all else. That's the problem. You believe individualism above everything else. And you don't care about the regular, ordinary American. You only care about what comes your way. Okay. Punishment over prevention. Moral language without moral accountability. That's a beautiful one. That's amazing right there. Moral language without accountability. That's exactly the Republican Party. Exactly. Okay. Explain. That's amazing. I would never have said it, but it is what it is. Moral language. Love to use moral language without moral accountability. That is the Republican Party today. Yeah, they love that Second Amendment until it harms the ICE hypocrite. You got it. You got it. Someone talks like they're defending right and wrong. They always talk about defending right and wrong, but when their own side does something wrong, they make excuses, change the subject, or refuse to believe in the consequences. They don't never want to give no consequences to freaking Donald Trump, do they? Never want to give the consequences to him. But it's the low-life trash president that they will defend to the end. Obama didn't commit half of the shit that this president has committed, crimes this president has committed. Low-life trash that he is. So the moral language is the talk. The moral accountability is the willingness to apply the same standards to yourself and your team. And they never want to do that. You see the goofy shit right here? You see the goofy shit we dealing with, right? Y'all see that goofy shit on the screen we dealing with, right? You see the moral decay and the demented mind frame of this maggot. You see that right there? So when those two, when the moral language and the moral accountability don't match, it becomes some kind of strategy. They want to, instead of a real moral code, no morality whatsoever. The Republicans have no morality whatsoever. Only if it advances their criteria. It's never about the American people's criteria. It's always about the Republican criteria. It's never about the American people's criteria. 70% of the country is telling this president and his administration that we are going in the wrong track, and they keep going on the wrong track. We are telling you, you are going the wrong way, Mr. President, and you keep going the wrong way. We're telling you we don't want ICE to do what they're doing, and you want to double down. We're telling you we don't want you to go overseas and be a goofy, and you go right overseas and be a goofy, and insult all of our allies, insult everybody at the goddamn conference. You insult yourself, you insult the Americans so badly that the Canadian Prime Minister has to come out and rebuke you. Okay? That they have to come out and rebuke you. That's wild. And the fact that you got people still defending the bullshit. That's our problem right there. We have goofies who don't have ain't no fucking Trudeau. He ain't the fucking Canadian Prime Minister anymore, goofy. This is what I'm talking about. Who is Trudeau? That's the old Prime Minister. Now he go with that goofy singer. We ain't talking about him. We're talking about Carney. See what I'm talking about? Y'all ain't even on top of what you on top of. And you're still doing talking about the goofy shit. Okay? I'm telling you, the president went overseas and embarrassed us all. And motherfuckers said, Trump said, I got the dumbest supporters ever. Or my supporters are not the most intelligent people. And then every one of you maggots say, yeah, that's my president. After saying that about you. Yeah, just another. It don't matter that you don't know who the prime minister of Canada is. It don't matter, but yet we gotta deal with people with the consequences of goofy people like this voting. We got to deal with goofy people like this voting, and they don't even know who the damn Canadian prime minister is. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. So, what moral language looks like? Moral language uses words like family values, protected children, Christian values, law and order, patriotism, decency, personal responsibility, traditional values, honor, respect, clean living, and hard work. Nothing is wrong with these words by themselves. The problem is when these words are used like a weapon against other people, but not as a standard for yourself, which is exactly what the Republican Party is doing and has been doing, trying to weaponize these words against us Democrats. 9 out of 10 economies of this country have been run by Democrats, and they've been successful. Every Republican Party has been to take us back when they became power. They came in power. When Republicans went and came into power, they always take us back. It's never a forward-thinking party. It's never a forward-thinking party. It never has been. Every time a Democrat gets into office, they have to clean up what the Republicans have messed up. Every single time. Okay? Every single time that a Democrat has to clean up what a Republican has messed up. Okay? Every time. Just go back and look at history. Look at the economy and the stats. The one thing you can't do is change the history. History is what it is. You can't change it unless you want to put a whole nother narrative on it. And we're not going to put a whole nother narrative on it. We're going to call it what it is. Democrats are better stewards of this economy than Republicans are. They always have been. The Republicans are only interested in power. They're never interested in governing. And this is what we need. We need a party that wants to actually govern and be reactive. No, be proactive, not reactive. Okay? Be proactive. And we darn sure know that that's not the Republican Party. Because if it was the Republican Party, we would have them saying something about this Second Amendment thing that has went on with this man who got shot. He ain't supposed to have no gun. He shouldn't have had no gun. No. You Republican degenerates said everybody's always trying to take your guns away. Everybody trying to take your guns away. That man can have a gun. That man can have a gun all day long. Nah. Don't get to talking about he shouldn't have had no gun now. And this is the hypocrisy that we got going on in the Republican Party. Always. Okay. Moral accountability, which the Republican Party does not have. Moral accountability is when someone says, if this is wrong, it's wrong, even when my person does it. Republicans don't believe in that because Donald Trump shits on human beings and does everything else, scams them out of crypto coins, scams them out of Bibles, scams them out of suits, scams them out of everything. And they don't have no pushback for their leader. It's wrong. It's wrong if the Democrats do it, but if we do it, it's okay. What is it? Trump kept those important papers in his garage, and he kept them, and he tried to hide them. It's the same thing as Biden having the same papers and Biden keeping his papers. The difference is that Biden immediately handed over the paperwork when he took those confidential papers home. He immediately handed those over. Donald Trump tried to hide that he had them. Donald Trump tried to hide that he had them. Sure, goofy. Don't be mad that I'm telling the truth. Don't be mad. Just accept that it's the truth. We should investigate this, even if it makes us look bad. We got to investigate that auto. We got to investigate all that. We got to investigate Obama. We got to investigate Hillary and them email. We got to invest all of that. But they ain't said jack shit about investigating where that money went. That's over in Qatar, that the president sent over there. That's in his personal account, or the $1 billion a piece from every leader Who's in charge of that? According to the paperwork, Donald Trump is in charge of that. Why he in charge of the $1 billion? Why the board ain't in charge of it? Ain't nobody thought nothing about him scamming us out of the cryptocurrency money that he did right before he came in office. Ain't nobody thought nothing about investigating that. Oh, y'all try to investigate Donald Trump for that Russiagate. It's a lie. It's a lie, y'all. But the auto pen is true. Everything about Biden is true. Everything that's negative about Biden is true. But not one thing is true about Donald Trump. You see the hypocrisy you have on the Republican side? Republicans, you don't stand for anything. You don't stand for anything. If you break the law, you face consequence. No, Donald Trump ain't facing no consequence. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He cool. He the president. He can do everything wrong. He can commit all kinds of shit against the Constitution. We don't care. He's the Republican. We don't care. We have no moral standing. We have no moral ground. We don't stand on nothing. So he can do whatever he wants. If you preach family values, you can't be reckless with your own family life and then demand forgiveness as political shield. Really? This is obvious that this is obvious that your Republicans are hypocrites. It's obvious. If you claim protect the kids, you don't ignore harm when it comes from somebody on your team. Of course you Republicans ignore it. You're ignoring the Epstein file. You're ignoring the fact that your president is a pedo. You're ignoring that fact. You're ignoring the fact that your president was involved with trafficking and dealing with young girls. Let's ignore all of that, shall we? Let's ignore all of that. Mm-hmm. We're going to ignore all of that. That's why we don't believe you and you stand for nothing. Okay? There's nothing that you stand for. Because you allowed the Epstein files to come out and you didn't demand that the rest of the Epstein files come out. You didn't demand accountability from your president. Okay? They get hella furious. Republicans get hella furious when the other side does something, but they shrug their shoulders when they decide to do the same thing. You don't demand accountability from your president when it comes to the Epstein files. So shut your ass up about Biden or Obama or anybody else until we hear what you're going to do about the Epstein file. Y'all going to demand that the Epstein files come out, or y'all just going to let it go the way it is? It's okay because he on my side. It's okay. He on my side. The president is on my side, so I don't care about the Epstein file. Yeah, you care about children when it's convenient. You don't care about children when it comes to your president touching children. It's a witch hunt, nothing burger, fake news. when it's my part, when it's the Democrats, shit, y'all need to burn down. Y'all need to go to hell. But when it's your party, it's fake news. It's always fake news. I tell you the truth, and y'all call it fake news. I give you the facts, and you tell me it's fake news. Okay? The standards change depending on who did it. Same behavior, two different interpretations. When Democrats riot, when the Democrats are doing their protests, when the Democrats are peacefully protesting, they say rioters, thugs, and disrespectful. They shouldn't have been out there. They shouldn't have been doing it. But when the Republicans do it, when they go out and they want to protest or they do whatever, or they get mad, they're patriots, freedom fighters, passionate Americans. It's always something different. It's always, you see, y'all see this right here. You support Democrat riots. It's riots. Didn't I just say that? First thing they're going to call it, if a Democrat walks or protests, it's a riot. They thugs, they disrespectful. This is the way they say it. This is the way they frame it, as riots. It ain't riots if they do it. They're they're peaceful patriots, passionate patriots. They're patriots if they do it. If they protest, they do it. They patriots. Yeah, he said it right. You're right. And I said it right too. You're trash and they don't stand for nothing. I said it right too. Rules for thee, not for me. The Republicans want strict rules for groups they don't like. But especially, they got to get exceptions for themselves. Personal responsibility for the poor people. For the poor people, you got to be responsible. I can't be giving you no money. I can't be doing nothing for you. You got to have personal responsibility. Second chances, forgiveness, and grace. That's all for the rich people on their side. Rich people get to have forgiveness, second chances, and grace. Long as they rich and powerful, they get all the grace and the help that they want. Long as they got money. But when it comes to the regular poor people, oh no, you got to take responsibility for everything. That's why I said Republican Party is a loser party. It's not the party I would ever join. I would never even be bothered with it because you don't stand for nothing. They use morality as a shield to avoid the consequences. They don't use value to guide behavior. They use value to escape accountability. Republicans do that. How dare you criticize me? I'm defending the children. Basically, it means my cause is so holy, you aren't allowed to question my actions, which is what it comes from. This, and they love this. You're woke. You're one of those woke Americans. You hate America. You persecute Christians. The media is fake news. Rhinos are traitors. This is the language that we hear from you Republicans. This is a major sign that you're in the cult and the MAGA cult. Okay? It's a major sign that you're in the cult. Okay? A major cult. Okay? And this is the fundamental difference between Democrats and Republicans. Democrat and Republican. We have no they always preaching family values, protect the kids, Christian value, personal responsibility, but they never take any of that responsibility on their own. It's never about them. It's always about the Democrats. It's always something that the Democrats have done. It's always something that they have done. It's never something that they need to face. The responsibility is never on the Republican side. It's always on the Democrat side. Republicans don't need responsibility because you haven't done anything about the Epstein file. I'll take the biggest point of contention. You Republicans refuse to hold your president accountable when it comes to the Epstein files. Instead of saying, hey, Mr. President, we believe that you ain't in the files. Why don't you release the files so that we can definitely have a talking point and say these trash ass Democrats are lying about you being in the Epstein file. Please release the Epstein file so we can definitely put that to rest. Then we ain't got to worry about you. We don't have to worry about them saying you're lying. Instead of them saying that to their president, they want to help president hide the fact that he's in the Epstein files. We know your president is in the Epstein file. We know that. Yes, he signed. Yes, Goofy. Yeah, Goofy. Right here. Yeah, Goofy. Yeah, Goofy. So why is it that they ain't been released? Goofy. Why ain't that? It was a law that said he had to release them, but he didn't. Why ain't he done that, Goofy? Because he don't want to release them. Goofy, because he don't want to release them. Because he knows he's in them. And he was only forced to sign it because they would have overrid him if he wouldn't have signed it. You do know that Congress can override a president, right? Because it's beneath the Clintons to even come when you don't even want to hold your president accountable. Why the hell would I come to a hearing? If I was the Clintons, why the hell would I show up to a hearing and your trash ass president don't want to show up at a hearing and release the files? Yeah, we know he's in there. We know he's in the files. Don't worry about it, hon. You live in a Delulu world. I don't live in Delulu world. I live in reality. Reality is your president is trash, and he doesn't want people to know how much of trash he is, and you all are scared to find out how much of trash your president is. Yeah, that is. You're afraid to find out how much trash your president is. Okay? The Clintons are not the president. The Clintons are not the president. We don't care. Us Democrats don't care who is in the file. We don't care. We know Trump is in the files, though. We do know that. That man was the best friend of Epstein for 10 years. You mean to tell me that president was best friends with Epstein and he never, ever, ever saw him doing nothing wrong with women? This is what y'all want us to believe. You want us to believe that the president didn't know jack shit about his best friend fucking kids. This is what y'all want us to believe, that he didn't know nothing about his best friend fucking kids. That's what it comes down to. You want us to believe that your president didn't know that his best friend was fucking kids. Okay? I have to emphasize that you're retarded right along with being a zombie if you believe your president didn't know his best friend was fucking kids. So that's wild to me that you can sit here and say, oh, President Trump ain't in the files. Your best friend is fucking kids and you don't know that he's fucking kids, then you are half retarded as the friend. And Donald Trump may be dumb as a box of rocks, and he is dumb as a box of rocks, but he sure as hell knew that his best friend was fucking kids. And it's in those files. They only released 1% of the files. They've only released 1% of the files. Okay? 1% of the files. So if they've only released 1% of the files, then that basically means there's 99% chance that your president is going to be in some of those files. It's a high likelihood. It's his best friend. But I emphasize this to say that you all always want to throw up the moral high ground. We have the moral high ground. You guys don't know the difference between female and male. You guys don't know the difference between a trans and a regular. We don't want no man in the bathroom. We don't want no man in the military. We don't want none of it. You always talking about the moral high ground. And yet and still, your president was fucking kids. Because we got to say it straight out. Because you all act like you're stupid, slow, retarded, zombie. You act like you're freaks or something. Okay? That you don't get that your president is in the files. And if your president is in the files, he's done something that he don't want people to know about. He signed the damn papers. I ain't seen nobody release none of the files yet. We ain't seen nobody release the rest of the files, the 99% of the file. We don't see none of you Republicans demanding that he release the files. If you true to your word, you true to it, and you care about young girls and you care about kids and all that goofy shit y'all keep saying, then you should be demanding that your president release the files. Release them. Make sure everybody gets to see every part of those Clintons with their ass in the air. Y'all keep saying the Clintons in there. Okay, we want to see the Clintons with their ass in the air too. But we also want to make sure that the president ain't got his ass in the files too. So that should be a part of that whole thing. And our politicians didn't campaign on showing the X-files, those files. Your president did. Your president campaigned on showing those files. Okay. Sure I do. But yet and still, I bet you ain't asking for them files. I bet you ain't asking for them files, goofy. I bet you ain't asking for them files. Go on, ask for them files. We want to see. Are y'all going to stand up and not be a hypocrite? Are y'all going to stand up and do what's right? But here's the thing. This is a debate. This was the debate about Democrats. Okay? Democrats, about what we believe in. Free education, free meals for children, affordable college for people, student debt relief. Okay? Helping individual people. Helping during unemployment, illness, aging. Our veterans, our elderly. Okay? Making sure the safety nets are put together like they're supposed to. Okay? And people are able to get the help that they need. Okay? Healthcare is a basic right. We believe that. Like I said at the beginning of this debate, me and Tallarico line up. Maybe Jasmine does believe in these things. Tallarico has put it out there that he believes in healthcare as a basic right, lower drug prices, raise the minimum wage, single-payer healthcare, universal college for everybody that's free. Me and Tallarico line up on all of those things. And these are fundamental things that a Democrat believes in. Most Democrats believe in that. Raising the minimum wage, single-payer health care, free school lunches, free college, helping our elderly and our veterans. That's basically what Democrats believe in. We believe in those fundamental principles. But we don't get that same thing on the other side. The Republicans only believe in individualism. Yes, I'm very entertaining. Very entertaining. You still here. I must be entertaining. Okay? But we cannot get to the... I don't like Newsom. It's not that I don't like Newsom. Newsom is okay. Except he seems like a scatterbrained blonde. He seems like a blonde scatterbrain. And that's the problem I have with Newsom. You seem like a blonde scatterbrain. So I'll be looking at the potential candidates before they announce. Hopefully I'll listen to the candidates. And this is the single silly shit that I hear. I'm so tired of Democratic hypocrisy. You need to come on you need to hit the link. Here. Let me give you the link. Because I would love to know. I would love for you to explain to me what this means. I'm tired of Democratic hypocrisy, lies, and false representation. Please hit the link. This is for the David Holtz. If you ain't David Holtz, don't hit the link. If you can't explain what he means in this chat, then don't hit the link. But I want David Holtz to hit the link and explain to me what he means by Democrats' hypocrisy, lies, and false representation. I want to know what I lied about today. That's the lie, the hypocrisy, and the false representations. Because the truth is, you Republicans don't stand for anything. You don't believe in universal health care. You don't believe in health care being a right. You don't believe in free school lunches. You don't believe in raising the minimum wage. You don't believe in having life and dignity for our elderly and our veterans. You don't believe in any of those things. So what do you believe in that helps the American? Where did I lie at? You don't believe in those things. That's not on any of your platform. The only thing that's on you all's platform is tax cuts, tariffs, and trying to repeal all the social safety net program. That's all your party platform is. Prove me wrong, because I haven't heard not one thing that a Republican has said that they want to help the common fellow man. I have not heard one thing. You haven't said one thing that helps the common man. Not one thing. I told you exactly what I believe. When I first got on this damn internet, I told you I am a liberal, a progressive, a libtard, whatever the hell you want to call it. Okay. Whatever you want to call it. I am whatever you want to call it. But you cannot say what you believe in. Because it doesn't come up to what I said. I said universal single payer health care, raising the minimum wage, a fair taxation, free lunch for kids, all kids, free college. If you American, get free college if they want free college. I've said all of the things that I believe in. What do you Republicans believe in? Where did I lie about what you believe in? Where did I lie about? Okay. But the first thing you goofies are going to say, why demand the government help you do that? Why does the government help you do that? Because what I demand works for the American people. What part of every time a Democrat got into office, the country got better? What part of that don't you get? What part of that don't you get? Okay. What part of that? And that's the whole point. The government is supposed to help all of us do better in this country. The government is supposed to be a tool that we use to help the everyday, ordinary American, the bulk of us, do better. But this government under a Republican rule never helps the regular, everyday, ordinary American better. It only helps the rich. It only helps the rich. So I don't see nobody hit that fucking link. I'm lying. Ain't nobody hit the fucking link. None of you maggots ever hit the fucking link and said anything. You got to copy the link, put it in your browser, and your browser will bring you here. You can't just click it and it'll come. You have to click it and put it in your browser. Then it will let you come here. Under every Democratic rule, this country has gotten better. This country has moved forward under Democratic rule every single time. George Bush helped to push our economy in a ditch. George Bush did tax cuts, tariffs, and tried to do whatever he wanted to do with the safety nets. We got into a ditch. Let the banks do what they wanted to do. Obama had to come in and get us out of the ditch by spending $508 million or $1 billion to bring the economy back. Obama did that. Got us out of that ditch. Then he got the car rolling on the road. Trump came in and Trump ran us into a ditch on top of COVID. So it wasn't all Trump's fault, but Trump was heading to the fucking ditch when COVID took over. Biden got us out of the ditch. but he didn't get the car rolling. He got us out of the ditch, but he didn't get the car rolling. And now this president has ran our ass into the ditch again by his tax cuts, his tariffs, and him fucking around with the ACA and getting rid of Medicaid and Medicare. And the only way for them to afford the tax cuts and everything else, they had to cut the social safety net programs like Medicaid and Medicare. That's the only way they could afford those tax cuts. And that's what the Republicans did. They took a chunk out of the everyday, ordinary Americans. Okay. Under every Democratic rule we have prospered in this country. Whether it's a little prosperity or a lot, we have prospered in this country. And I dare say Obama was the most, Clinton was one of the most progressive, and then Obama. Okay. And that's just a fact. It just is a fact. You don't have to like them. You don't have to do whatever, but they pulled us out of the brink and they put us on the road to prosperity. And every time a Republican got in office, they fucked us over. Okay. Every time. Every time. So it is what it is. And this is the fundamental difference between Republicans and Democrats. We Democrats believe in free healthcare, free college, free school lunches, raise the minimum wage, progressive tax cuts, our dignity for our elderly and our veterans, all of these things. And we can't explain it to you better than that. Okay. And what else? What else? We have a moral obligation to govern. We have a moral obligation to govern this country. We believe it's our responsibility that when we get into leadership, we govern for the benefit of all. We don't ever govern because you want to be individualistic, whether you want to do individual thing. We never govern as they do. Okay. Republicans, they like to demand, yes, they like to demand that we live how they want us to live. We're not supposed to have different human beings on this planet, male, female, gay, straight. We govern for everybody. We don't just govern for Republicans or Democrats. We govern for everybody. Okay. We fundamentally believe that. We are about protecting the democracy, making the economy work for regular, ordinary people, and ensuring equal justice under the law. That means due process, even if you're an illegal alien. Using government as a tool to help our people. That's what a government is for. It's to help improve everyday, ordinary American people's lives. That's what we use the government for. Not just serve the powerful, not just give the powerful tax breaks. The regular, ordinary, everyday people should also get a say. We believe the freedom, fairness, and opportunity should belong to everybody, not just because you got money, not just because you earned it, everybody should have the opportunities. Everybody. Okay. And if you don't believe, you don't believe, I just have to say it again. We believe in free college if we can get it, free single-payer health care, free school lunches, raising the minimum wage, a progressive tax cut. If you don't believe in any of those things, then you're a Republican. You're a Republican. Because that's what the Democratic platform stands on. We stand on it 10 toes down. We are here to benefit everyone, not just people or individual persons. We believe in everything. It is what it is. So you all hit the like, share, and subscribe. I get it. A lot of y'all haters, and you're going to be haters. It is what it is. But you got to look up the Republican rule. Has our economy gotten better under Democratic rule or Republican rule? I would love to know that the next time we beef up. But I will be back. Of course, I'll be back. I appreciate the like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all of that. I will be back. I will be back. Of course, I'll be back. We'll have more content later on. More content later on. I appreciate all of y'all. Y'all know that. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate it. I'm 1,000% Democrat all day, every day. Libertard, liberal,